Hi, this is Miriam Tenkate, the Executive Director of Special Services, and I'm here to conduct a short special education training for office professionals. Before we start, I just want to tell you how much I appreciate all the work all of our office professionals do. As a former high school administrator and an elementary principal, office professionals really set the tone for the building. And you can be that first welcoming voice to a parent and to a child. You really set that tone, and your position is incredibly important. Also, I know that you also handle some really tough, challenging situations sometimes. So I just want to be able to say thank you for all the work that you do on behalf of the students and the staff here within the district. So really briefly, we are excited that our attendance secretaries, or at the secondary level, the counseling paraeducator or counseling office professional, provides clerical support for our psychologists. And as you can see here on the screen, the amount of daily support that our psychologists receive from the variety of staff identified there in the top bullet. If you ever are in a situation, if you are in that position, and the psychologist is asking you to do something that you're unfamiliar with, please don't hesitate to ask your psychologist, or if you have questions, contact Debbie Eichner-Hatch at the Special Services District Office. Typically, psychs will ask these positions to help scheduling meetings, perhaps getting some paperwork out and doing that. It's daily support, and I have to tell you, it has made a huge difference in the lives of our psychologists. So one of the reasons we let our office professionals know this is because sometimes the office can be a very busy place, and it can be very difficult for the attendance secretary or the counseling office professional or the counseling paraeducator to get away to provide the support for the psychologist, but it's really needed. So we appreciate all the office professionals being able to support your colleagues and being able to provide the appropriate administrative support for our psychologists. Something that I want to highlight here as you read through the slide, the most important thing here is that you notify Debbie Eichner-Hatch if you're deleting a withdrawal. If you delete a withdrawal without telling Debbie, she does not receive any notification of the deletion. So your communication with Debbie is incredibly important in the student withdrawal process. If you have any questions about that, I'm going to tell you again, please don't hesitate to contact Debbie. Here's the biggest piece around enrolling students who receive special education services. Some of our students might require placement in a self-contained program that may or may not be located in your building. You want to leave that determination of appropriate programs to the psychologist. It doesn't matter what services the student needs. If the student lives within in the neighborhood school boundary area, please go ahead and register the student. Regardless of the program the student may eventually attend. Please refrain from speculating with the parent where the child might go. Sometimes we've had those conversations go south, and we just don't want to put you in that situation. So please just go ahead and take the registration information and register the child. When you request the general education records from the sending district, please make sure you also request the special education records. That is the responsibility of the school secretary or registrar to request the special education records so that it will come in a complete package. And then please notify the school psychologist that a student with an IEP has enrolled. It will be up to the psychologist and the appropriate team to make a determination where the student will be able to receive the services. So please just go ahead and register the student if they're living within the neighborhood boundary area. If you are dealing with in-state transfers, please make sure also to request records through CEDARS, Student Records Exchange. There is a special education information. It's located under the attributes and programs in CEDARS. Please make sure to also check that. Then the second step in the process is, if it's a student that you've enrolled that has special education services, there will be a Google document. It's going to be called the Special Education New Student Enrollment with the current year on it. Please enter that information in that Google document. You only have to do this through November 1st because that's the date of our federal count. But this way is the way that Debbie gets notified that a new student who receives special education services has enrolled in the district. And that allows us to have more accurate district and building information to make good decisions around staffing and resources. So doing that is incredibly important. This is for any new in-state transfers. If you have students who are already, who have already attended the Early Learning Center in Lake Stevens, you don't need to put them on this list. There's no harm if you do, but you're not required to if they've already attended the preschool within our district. We'll know that that student has enrolled. So the out-of-state transfers, please make sure that you request records, including special education records from the sending school, and then also enter their information in the special education new student enrollment Google Doc. Again, you'll have a new Google Doc for every new school year, and you only need to do this through November 1st. But again, this is how Debbie is notified of any in-state and out-of-state transfers. If there's a student who's transferring out of the district who needs Lake Stevens records, go ahead and just send the special education request to the email that you see on the PowerPoint slide there, or for any other request for special education records. Both Debbie and Mary Beth check that, and we'll make sure to get the records out as soon as they can. So often office managers are given timesheets by staff members, and sometimes we have some questions about which one should be approved or not. Don't even worry about that. Just send the timesheets to Mary Beth Ryko. She's our Special Services Office professionals. But for your information, lots of times teachers, general education teachers, or any teachers and specialists will attend meetings for students who receive special education services outside of their workday. But the only meetings that we compensate them for are official IEP or evaluation meetings. When those staff members are filling out timesheets for IEP or evaluation meetings, all they need to do is they need to sign the timesheet. There needs to be a building administrator's signature and the student's last name or initials, so we can correlate it to an actual IEP or an eval meeting. And again, there, if you're looking at the PowerPoint, only evaluation and IEP meetings are additionally compensated for the time held outside of the contract day. Lots of times there are meetings held for students that are not IEP meetings or evaluation meetings, but this is just part of the certificated staff's professional responsibility. And they already receive compensation for that as part of their annual salary. So not every meeting for a student with an IEP will be paid if it's after hours, only IEP or evaluation meetings. In addition, special education teachers have some extended time as part of their contract, and administrators are not required to sign any timesheets for any of the extended time. If you have any questions about any of the information I have provided, please do not hesitate to contact Debbie Eichner-Hatch at the district office. And I want to say thank you again for all the work that you do to make our district a welcoming place for students and families.